And good morning. Thank you for joining us on VacationStation TV SUNRISE. It's Tuesday, September 29th, and it is a beautiful day in the Smoky Mountains. I know what you're saying, it's raining, but really, it's really beautiful. Even when it rains, the Smoky Mountains are a beautiful place to be. Speaking of weather, let's talk a little bit about it, shall we? Today, you can expect mostly cloudy skies. 80% chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms could happen at any time, and some of those downpours can be heavy. The good news is, as the day progresses, the showers will decrease. Now, temperatures today at best will be in the low to mid 60s, and tonight, under partly cloudy skies, the lows will be in the lower 40s to the mid 40s, depending on where you live. Up in the mountains, colder. Down in the valley, a little bit warmer. The better news is tomorrow it's going to be an absolutely beautiful day. Mostly sunny skies, 10% chance of an isolated shower, and nothing to worry about. A great day to get out and enjoy yourselves in the Smoky Mountains. Temperatures tomorrow will probably be a little on the cool side, so if you're just vacationing here and you didn't bring a sweater, probably a good idea for you to go get one. It's going to be cool. Temperatures will probably only be into the mid 60s. Maybe later on in the day you might find some places near 70, but it won't last long. Fall is here, so as the nights come on, the coolness comes on as well. So how is everybody doing today? If you're planning to go out, probably you should scrub your plans and just plan on doing some stuff indoors. Bring on the camera. And hello, how are you? I'm up in the upstairs now. Earlier I was out on the deck, but for whatever reason, I don't even know if it's coming in through now. Comcast, their signal was really very poor. The screen was locking up, and it just could not do the job it's supposed to. So if it's coming in now, please let me know. Feel free to chat with me. The chat room is open. Let's chat it up and get the chat room filled. You feel free to ask me any questions, and we'll be here for a little while longer. And I just want to just have fun with you guys for a while. I like to do this every morning. I was going to do it in and around sunrise, but sunrise didn't happen today until 7:28 this morning, and sunset will happen at 7:20 this evening. So that's I figured, why am I getting up at 6 o'clock when the sun isn't up? Because yesterday I did it at sunrise, and it was too dark, and I really wanted to go out on the deck. I mean, that was my whole motive, was to go out on the deck and enjoy the morning with you, with my cup of coffee, which I always have right nearby. And I've got my special happy harvest, and that always is fun. I enjoy doing that. Feel free to come in on the chat line. I think everything is open and running the way it should. But if you're vacationing in the Smoky Mountains right now, and don't be depressed, don't let the weather dampen your spirits. There's plenty for you guys to do here. So don't despair. You could go to many different places even while it's raining, because a lot of these places, the outdoor stuff won't be happening, like the go-kart tracks and the outdoor putt-putts and things like that. They're just not going to be fun to do, or you're going to get rained on. So plan on going into indoors. Do something indoors. For instance, if you happen to be in the Sevierville Pigeon Forge area, why not take the kids, because they're probably all wound up and they want to do something, take them to Sevier Air. Sevier Air is located right next to Tanger Mall in Sevierville, which is really just over the line from Pigeon Forge to Sevierville, literally within a quarter of a mile. And you could shop. Maybe while the kids are playing in severe air, Mom, Dad, maybe you can go over to Tanger Mall and do some shopping. You could just walk across the parking lot, and Tanger Mall is right there. Fun place to go. It's basically a ninja style game, indoor gaming, where they get to climb ropes and swing and do little like obstacle courses. It's a ninja style. And they also have dodgeball, and they have trampolines, and everything is cushioned. Everything is cushioned on the inside of that place. If you'd like to see it, go to VacationStation TV and go to the video on severe air, and you'll enjoy it. The kids will love it. They'll love it. When you see the video, those kids were smiling from ear to ear, having a ball. So there's something to do on the inside. Also, while you're in that area, you could always go to Titanic. You can go to Wonderworks, through the lens. There's a lot of attractions up and down South 66, south and north, either side of the road. So there's something to do, and you don't have to go, oh, we're stuck in the cabin or stuck in the hotel, or we're just stuck in the RV. No, you're not. No, you're not. Lots of things to do in and around the Smoky Mountains. Remember, you have 850 square miles of things to do. Feel free to fill up the chat line. Talk to me. Let me know it's coming through okay. That would be nice. I was so angry at Comcast this morning. Whenever it rains really hard, the signal gets lost. And that tells me, being I've done this for so many years, there's a line that's open. There's a line, there's the lines that are on the poles. Probably a tree limb hit one and stretched it and opened it, and when the water gets in, it causes it a resistance in the line, and it's causing it to drop the signal because they're not, they're not using fiber optics here. Not at least where I am. I know they're using fiber optics everywhere else, especially if there's a new community. They all have fiber optics, of course they do. But up here where we are, the lowlies, the folk, the common folk, they don't put in fiber optics. Comcast, get up here and do your job. I'm paying you a lot of money to do this stuff, and you need to put in a new line from here all the way down to 321. And it just do it. Just do it. Don't make me angry. Another place that you could go, it came across as real, didn't it? You think that they're on their trucks on the way up here now? Nah. Another place you could go, I suggest going to Townsend, going to the Townsend Visitor Center. First place you stop, the Visitor Center, and check it out. They've got, like all these brochures that you see like at the gas stations. These things, you find them all the time. I suggest you go there. I want to get comfortable. I'm sorry. This thing reclines. Oh, great. Now it won't go back down. Goodness gracious. Anyway, you can go to the Heritage Center and the Visitor Center in Townsend. Now, the Visitor Center, the first place you go, and that's free, by the way. You can go there, and they have all these brochures as soon as you walk in on the wall on the left, and they have brochures that I have never seen before. In the 5 years that Marie and I have been here, the reason sometimes I say Anne, by the way, because her name is Marie Antoinette Felicitas Monteril. They give a lot of names. So I've been calling her for years Anne, but everyone knows her as Marie Antoinette, and her nickname Tonette. That's what a lot of her family still call her, Tonette. But I call her Anne, but you guys call her Marie. It doesn't really matter. She comes by any of those names. She's a sweetheart. But when you walk in there, into the visitor center, you'll see these brochures, and a lot of them, her and I have never seen in the 5 years that we've been here. New brochures that have great information in them, and we snatched them up quick because there's lots of things to do that we didn't know were going on in this area. And so I suggest you go there and pick those things up. Then when you're done at the visitor center, just 3/4 of a mile up the road is the Townsend Heritage Museum and Center. And in there they have a really nice museum. They've got a nice gift shop. And then when you step out the doors, now it's going to rain on and off, but in the property that is on, they have all these cabins that were, if you saw the video, and by the way, go to the video on Vacation Station TV and look under Townsend Visitor Center, and they're really neat to go into. Great fun, educational, and the kids will enjoy too, because you're outside and they're burning off the sugar and stuff. The same thing with severe air. If you wake up and the kids are all wound up and the rain has got you a little depressed, take them to severe air and let them blow off some of that sugar, and they'll be nice and tired and calm, and everybody will be happy. If they're happy, you're happy, everybody's calm. Then after you leave the visitor center, go on up to the Heritage Center. It's the Heritage Museum Center, and it's really a nice place to go. So there's lots of things that you can do. Then if you really, you're not done. Let's say you're not done. You say, I want more, I need more. Go to Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg has a ton of things to do. We were there yesterday, Marie and I. And they're celebrating now the Fall Fest, the Harvest Fest. And that's going on for 13 weeks. The Harvest Fest, believe it or not, 13 weeks of all these festivities. And right now, Uber Gatlinburg is having an indoor fest. Now, of course, that costs money to get in, but you don't have to go there if you don't want to. The streets are lined with festive art, festive things to do. There's pumpkin people everywhere, great photo ops, and pumpkins everywhere. My goodness, because they got pumpkins everywhere, and they got the corn stalks on all the light poles going through Gatlinburg, both sides, and pumpkin decorations. And then you could go into the village, the they call it the village. I have the brochure here somewhere. I was talking about that earlier, and it's a fun place to go. Here it is, the village. This is excellent. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that or not. The village is excellent. Hey, Brad, early day live. Yeah, I'm just kind of warming up. No, I'm not making a recording. Well, actually, it is recording, but I am live. We do this. I do this every morning now. Vacation Station TV Sunrise. And I usually do it. NDT show, hi, how are you? Yesterday I did it at 6 a.m., but stupid Jeff, I forgot to check when the sunrise is, and sunrise isn't until 7:28 today. So that was kind of fruitless for me to get up at 5 a.m., which I'm almost up anyway, and go outside, and I go, it's dark. I'm looking around, and it's pitch black, because I really wanted to broadcast from the deck today, which I did try. I don't know if you caught that this morning, you guys, NDT and Brad. I went out on the deck. I set everything up. I had my laptop, checked everything out last night. Everything is working great. It records, it plays, mic is working and stuff. For whatever reason, the internet, with the rain, due to Comcast's inability to give me proper wires, it was freezing up. It would be playing and then all of a sudden just lock up, and the mic would stop, the video would stop, and as soon as I take it in, it started to work. And I'm going, what is happening here? I go outside all the time and use the computer and go online, and I communicate with people, but it didn't. As soon as it started raining heavy, that's when the picture froze. So I've got to get a hold of them and get them to straighten that out, because this is nonsense. I can't. I want to be able to depend on these people that when I go out or do work and stuff or go online with you guys, it's going to be there. So then I decided to come inside, and I said, I'll just go upstairs, go up to the library and do a show, because I really want to do this every morning. How did you like the premiere of you saw the, what is that, the Townsend Heritage Center. There's a 2-part series to that. The second one will come out on Thursday. And we had a great time there. I really enjoyed that place. I love historic places. Marie loves them too. We have such a good time when we're there. And we spent, oh my goodness, 3 hours there? Could have been more, but at least 3 hours. And we just kind of took our time going through the log cabins. And you saw that. I think I took you through 2 log cabins on the first part. And one was the really nice cabin that obviously somebody who had a little bit of money had that cabin. It was just very well done. It was not your normal cabin, the ones I've been in. And then I went to the Stagecoach Cabin. I guess it was a place, I can't remember, Montaire, something like that. And it was where people would come in on their stagecoaches or their horses, and they would come in for a night. And what really blew me away was that it was like 12.5 cents, 12.5 cents for half a bed. Now that'd be like, Brad, you and I sleeping together. And that just isn't going to happen. I'm sure you're cute, but not that cute. But imagine that share with a stranger, a complete stranger. You sleep half a bed. Really weird. You've been past that place. It is worth stopping in for all of you, NDT and anyone else that's out there. Feel free to come in and chat, by the way. I'll hang out for a while. But I meant to stop in the past summer because I don't know. I had just received a bunch of stuff from the Cades Cove families. Oh, really? What you mean some historic stuff? I love history. I love the things of the history, the times. It's so warming, and so there's just so much to learn. And you'll learn these things like at the Heritage Center. And part 2 is going to be exciting too. We have a lot of fun. Um, we just have a good time. Marie and I, we go out and we just have a ball. We were up in Gatlinburg yesterday taking advantage of the Harvest Fest. And it's there in full swing there. If you get a chance, wherever you are, there's stuff everywhere going on. And we went to the village. I videotaped that with Marie, and we had a good time there. And that village is great. It's just like its own little world. You walk through there, and it's got twisty, turny roads. They're all cobblestone. The news article on the donation of the Heritage Center. Was there one? How long have you lived in this area? Oh, NDT, we've been up here 5 years now. Came up in 2016, early 2016. So, and I haven't run out of things to do. Neither's Marie. I mean, we don't know where to go day to day. We go, where do you want to go? I don't know. Let's go over here. And we try to get an itinerary together. That's why we get all these brochures, and we decide where we're going to go. And speaking of the brochures, they had there. And for those of you that are on a budget or like to save money, I told you this before, it's not how much you have, it's how much you keep. They had new coupon books. Ta-da! Yes. Yeah, the Heritage Center, Brad, is based on donations. And we buy, every year, we buy a year's pass there. We buy a lot of year's passes because we like to keep going to different places. We like going to the Heritage Center. It never gets old. It's always pleasant. And it's nice if you want to take a meal with you, like take a bag lunch or a dinner or a little picnic, you can go there and do that. And it's really neat because you're sitting around all these log cabins that have been reconstructed, and it's like you went back 200 years and you're just sitting there and enjoying it. Did you see the church scene? Brad, NDT, did you see the church scene in the Heritage Center video? That was, to me, very impactful. We went into that church, and it's an old church from the turn of the century, and in there, they're playing old gospel hymns, constantly plays. So this empty church kind of echoes with haunting voices because there's talking, there's preaching. It is as if the pastor is there for real, and it's very haunting. And backing out, really take a look at this particular piece in the video. I turned around at the altar, and there's nothing to see, but you could hear the people, you can hear the pastor. And I back out very slowly, and as I'm backing out, the music is fading, and take note of how the doorway just kind of morphs into black, and I pull away, and then the building is there. It was very, to me, it left an impression on me of how much how much religion and how much of their their feeling in their day, because back then you had to go to church. I mean, it was part of your life. You went to church on Sunday. If you didn't, the townspeople would look down at you. I mean, you really, they would back away from you. So it was a congregating place, but there was power there, and you could feel it, and it was very inspiring for me. Not that I'm over religious or anything. It just it inspired me to think of things more, and that's why we go there, because it's a nice place to reflect. Brad says, I think the Ogles had donated the church of stuff just recently and was the largest collection of things they had received to date. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that, because it had a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of the cabins, as you can see, and you'll see in part 1 and part 2, it's all real. The stuff is original. Everything in there is from that time period, which is really amazing, because you could see how tough life was back then. There were no fringes. There was no phones, no TV, no nothing. You worked all day, sunrise to sunset. And I take you on that tour of some of the stuff that you had to do. And I'm sure it was just grueling from sunrise to sunset. For sure, you would stay in shape, for sure, working all day long, doing the things that you had to do just to keep alive. That was nice. We frequent those places. Townsend is a sleepy town that is up and coming. So if you get a chance, folks, you really need to go there and see what it's all about, because they have a lot of history there. And as you heard the lady in the beginning of the interview, I remember when the road was 2 lanes. I'd been here before, and it was just a little 2-lane road that I think it's called the Lamar Alexander Parkway. And it would go into Maryville, and it would go into Alcoa, and then head on into Knoxville. But when they widened the road, unbeknownst to the people that lived there, they uncovered lots of Cherokee inhabitants, lots of sites all along that road. Because you got to remember, these roads that we drive on here in the Smoky Mountains at one time were once Indian paths. They were Native American paths, their roads. The roads where they went to Knoxville, where they went to Gatlinburg and went to Pigeon Forge and went to Mount LeConte and all that. And all we did was just commandeer them and make them our roads. But before that, they were a walking path. Remember, there's a video on VacationStation TV on Indian Gap Road. And in there, I insert some pictures of the time before the road was built. And this was somewhere in the early 20s. The pictures were taken, and it was just a rut in the road. It was maybe no more than 8-10 feet wide, but it was the wheels of the car rutted and the road completely. That was the only way you can get back and forth from Sevierville to a small Pigeon Forge, or even then to Gatlinburg. And remember, in Pigeon Forge, at the intersection of 321 and South 66, right at that corner there was Fort Weir. Fort Weir was a fort that was put there in the early 1800s. And unfortunately, progress took over, and there's a gas station. What a price to pay, huh? For history, Brad? What a price to pay. Take down a fort that had all this history during the Indian Wars, the Civil War, and the heritage that was around here, and you knock it down, you put up a shell station. Don't understand that. But and there's a plaque there. You can read it if you ever want to stop in and read it. I'm sure there's all sorts of history. I'm sure when they dug that up, they didn't do any excavating at all. They didn't do any archaeology, and there's stuff under there. Be nice to excavate sometime. The next video that's coming out, I think you'll enjoy. I've got 3 other videos already in the can, ready to go. So I've got 5 videos that are all set, and every day I'm going out. Now for the next 13 weeks, Marie and I are going to go to cover this whole fall fest. This is from Brad. I had heard that before, and that old mill was making. That's right, they were where Old Mill was actually an old mill. It was truly an old mill in the early 1800s and right on up through the turn of the century. Really nice. Testing, they're treating soldiers on the second floor. Yes, they also did that in a lot of the homes around here, the log cabins, and up in Townsend, there's a few of them up there, right, still in their place, and they were used during the Civil War for the Confederate soldiers. There's so much history up here, especially like in Cades Cove. Those cabins are where those cabins were. They are where they were built, and they are where they are now. They didn't move them around. Yeah, during the Civil War days, there are some places that are Revolutionary War, very far and few in between. They just didn't survive progress. Man came through, and they knocked down a lot of those cabins and put up newer cabins. And there's very few, but I really like the Revolutionary War period very, very much. That's such a special time for America. I mean, Civil War was a brutal, brutal time for all of us, but the Revolutionary War was a time when it was us against nature. There was nothing here. These pioneers came here, and they built everything out of nothing. There was no store at all, and little by little, these little stores, these little dry good places would pop up for flour and sugar and coffee and things like that. NDT show, never been to Townsend or Cades Cove. Been down, and you've been down there quite a bit. Put it on your list, NDT. I highly suggest it. I wouldn't send you anywhere that wasn't cool. I mean, let's face it. You know that I'm not like that. I want to go where I'm going to be entertained. Why won't this chair go? Why did I get stuck under it? I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back. There it is. This is my sitting reading chair, by the way. This is where I sit and I read. And if you look over, there's books that go all the way down there, down another level, all the way back, hundreds and hundreds of books. That side of the library is the old books, the books from the 1600s, the 1700s. I have a lot of first editions over here, and I read them from time to time. They're very delicate, so I have to be very, very careful. A lot of them are 1730, 1740, 50, 60, 1800s, 1900, all originals on a lot of first editions. A lot of I like collecting the little books. These like little tiny books. They're called pocket books before what we knew as pocket books, and they were the stories, great stories, classic stories, but they were pocket books for traveling because people traveled. Hey, how are you, Tommy White? Tommy, great. Here from T and Me Adventures, digging your channel. Thank you. I sent you an email. That was so heartwarming, that shout out that you gave Marie and I. Thank you. You guys are good people. All you guys are good people. But if you get a chance, T and Me Adventures, they did another restaurant review. And Tommy, the place you went to, that was about what? That was, oh goodness, I can't remember the name of the town now. Type it down there. It's a place I haven't been, but it's near Nashville. It's just outside the city of Nashville. Great restaurant. So if you're heading that way, because we have to go that way shortly, and we already planned on that, by the way, because Marie saw that and says we got to go to Nashville anyway. So I said, okay, fine, let's stop there. Great restaurant. The food looked fantastic. Your wife Teresa had this ribeye steak that was just cooked to perfection. I was amazed at how well they did it. Tommy, right on what it was. That restaurant, the name of it had an interesting name. And you had the shrimp. Wow, Tommy, those weren't shrimp. Those were prawns, freshly breaded shrimp, and it looked great. And of course, they do it right. I mean, they showed the food. And thank you for showing the menu slowly so that I could read it. I mean, of course, I could have paused the video, but you did it nicely, and I was able to read all this. And they have some really, 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 really good food there. As soon as Tommy types it in there, I'll remember it. Or you could always go to T and Me Adventures and watch the video, which I highly suggest you do. And they enjoyed themselves, and they tell the truth. They don't hold back. Mm-mm. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. And I like that. I respect that very highly. NDT. I'm usually down there. You finally got to travel Weir's Valley. What did you think of Weir's Valley? It's really a nice little town, isn't it? Colorado Grill, White House, Tennessee. That's it. Thank you. Thumbs up. No problem. Check their video out because you'll see for yourself how nicely cooked the steak was, the shrimp was, the salad, everything was nice. Super clean place, not and very unassuming. Very unassuming. It doesn't like not these Pigeon Forge places that these big gargantuan monuments for restaurants. You go in there and you have a burger. It's like, why did I spend all this money to pay for this building? No. The proof is in the food. The proof is inside what's on that plate, not on the outside what it looks like. Brad, get out of the city. Yeah, I agree with you. Get out of the city. Tommy, Colorado Grill, White House, NDT show. Brad, I'll be down second or third, but planning the Dollywood Halloween pumpkin thing. You'll have fun there. That's always fun to do. Then you're going to have to take a full day in Cades Cove when you plan. If you're going to do Cades Cove, go early or go late. Don't go in the middle of the day. Middle of the day is when all the traffic converges on Cades Cove. So if you get there real early, and there's usually somewhat of a line, but at least you'll get through at your leisure. You'll get through taking your time. Nothing worse than going to Cades Cove and staying in line. It's like a traffic line. It's like going to the Rod Show, and I don't like that at all. Not at all. You love Weir's Valley. It's a cute little town. It's also a sleeper of a town. Kind of expensive to buy though, unfortunately, because it's a main artery. 321 goes right into 129 and 129, and then right into Knoxville to Kingston Pike, and it's very expensive up there. Glad you liked it. Tommy White, you'll be in Pigeon Forge third week October. Yeah, just let me know. I keep forgetting to put this down. In fact, I sent it to somebody just about a half hour ago. My email address is jeffreycharles55@yahoo.com, and I'll try to remember to put it on the videos. If you want to get a hold of me, that's how you can get directly hold of me, because I don't always check all the chats right away. I try to get to them as soon as I can, but the emails come through and it alerts me. So it's jeffreycharles55@yahoo.com. Yeah, I still use Yahoo very much. You got to go and get the day started. Okay, NDT, thank you. I appreciate you being there. Thank you. I'm assuming Brad, NDT, Tommy, and stuff, the microphone is clear when I'm speaking into it this close. I'm still, these things are directional because they're condenser mics, so they have a very small swath of space. Got to figure out how I can get Marie. She don't say much when she says something. It's usually silly, so I want to make sure that you catch it, because she says some really silly things sometimes. Like when we were at the center, the Heritage Center, and we stepped out the door to go outside. She goes, all this stuff, is this real? The green, the trees, and all the bushes and stuff. And I had to tell her, what do you think, this is Disney? She says these silly things that you got to catch. Thank you, Brad. Thank you. Still working on some other stuff. I'm really, I got to be careful. Got to caught my copycats doing some other stuff. Just trying to do what I do. And that really, it doesn't necessarily piss me off. It just irritates me, because it's like, do your own thing. Don't do what I do, because I don't do what you do. You know what I mean? I don't copy your channel because I don't want to do what you do. So don't do what I do. We're all individuals, and we all need to do what we're best at. Silly people. Listening about doing my emails of the day. Well, thank you for inviting me in to look over your shoulder at your emails. NDT, I'll see you soon. Take care. You too. Catch all the shows. Thursday will be another one, and sometimes I do pop up. I'll throw one in on Wednesday. I've got enough. I got enough for a week, and more rough footage. I've got some raw footage. I haven't quite put it all together yet, but I was going to go out today, and yesterday I got 2 more videos. And I'll go out all this week and next week. I'm just going to keep going out every day, and I'm just going to keep pumping videos out because there's so much for me to do. There's so much that her and I want to do, and we want to show this to you guys. We really do. Really, really do. I hope all of you are going to watch the debate tonight. Yeah, that's a must. If anything, at 9 o'clock, you've got to see this. It will be played over and over and over again on all the channels. I got debris on me. Why do I have so much debris on me? I don't know. Gotta have my coffee. There's my mug, my Happy Harvest mug. Yay. Yeah, we were at, like I said, we were at the village yesterday. And that is so cool. Any of you been to the village in Gatlinburg? You know, it's that little, it's like that little alcove that you turn into if you're coming into Gatlinburg from what is that there, 66. It's to the left. It's almost across the street from Anakeesta, real close to Anakeesta. Really great place to go. All the cobblestone, windy streets, and all these cool little shops. But there was a coffee shop there, and of course, I'm walking around taking video, and all of a sudden I go, I smell coffee, and it smelled good coffee. I mean, when coffee's burnt, it smells pretty bad. This was great, and I could smell a little hint of pecan. That's how sensitive I am to coffee. And I go, oh my goodness. And Marie's going, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, I smell coffee. And I smell pecan coffee too. And so we walked into the place. Just a tiny little place. You could almost touch the other side of the wall. If you put out both your arms, you would just have to lean a little bit to touch both sides. But they had the best coffee in there, and they had their own homegrown ground and stuff. So I said, let me try. I smell pecan. We just started brewing it. That's why I smelled it. It was brewing, and it was wafting in the air. And I said, I want iced coffee, and Marie got one too. 2 large iced coffees. No latte la, just iced coffee. And it was pecan. They had black bear coffee. I'm going to try that next time I go up there. And she said, it's bold. It should with a name like Black Bear Coffee. I said, no, I'll take the pecan. And it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. And they got all these cute little shops in there and things to do. Brad says we always visit it moved. Visit the coffee shop back in the corner. That's where is right next to the little toy store. There's the coffee shop, and then to the right is the little tiny toy store. It's really a good coffee store. I'm going to have to frequent that a lot more because it just was so nice. I felt good there. The people were super friendly and not expensive at all. You go, I will not ever buy a Starbucks coffee. Ever. Mr. Starbucks, I think his name is Lee. Mr. Starbucks, I will never buy your coffee. First of all, you stand for all the wrong things that I don't believe in. Second, you're too damn expensive. And coffee is coffee. It's a bean. It comes from a bush. And you guys put stuff in it. Bet you didn't. I don't know if you knew that. That Starbucks adds ingredients to their coffee beans. Bet you didn't know that. Check it out. Read their sign. Read the bottom. See what they're putting in there. It's not what you think it is. You're not a huge coffee fan. I know, not a lot of people are, but this is just something I've done as long as I've been in radio. It's been either soda or coffee. I'll take the least of the 2 worst. I'll take the coffee because soda was really bad for me. Tommy, man, I'm going to miss the debate. What? Oh, you got to do a live stream with Vince Marino. Oh, man. Well, you'll get to see it later, but can't you cancel that and watch the debate? I bet the debate ratings would be a lot better. They'll be better than mine. I'm sure if I went on, or you went on, if I went through the library here on a pogo stick with a shower cap full of spaghetti dancing and singing "You're the Tops, You're the Tops, You're the Mona Lisa, You're the Tops, You're the Tower of Pisa." Nobody would be watching. Nobody. They're all eyes are going to be on Sleepy Joe tonight, waiting for the gaffes, waiting for the buffoonery. I think, this is just an opinion, I think he's going to cancel. I think he's going to drop out. He's going to have like an acute case of the runs or something. They just, I don't know. Either he's going to be hugely humiliated on national TV worldwide, or he's just going to, he's going to da 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 off the stage, because Trump is definitely going to eat him up, spit him out like a bad oyster. You know that, and he knows that, and the Democratic Party knows that, and it's going to be interesting to watch. This is the best time to live. You have to admit. Tommy, what do you think? Best time to live? We didn't even have these type of back and forth ever. I can't remember any election where this kind of craziness went on. This is really history being made. We're living it right now. We're in it. Sorry. I blame it on the coffee. Could you imagine me on a pogo stick with a shower cap full of spaghetti hanging down? You're the Mona Lisa. I have fun. If Marie was here, I'd be poking fun at her. But she's not here. She's busy today. But I digress. It should be an interesting debate. And I usually don't debate with people because I don't have time. And it's boring for me to debate with people because I already know I'm right. So, oh, how arrogant he is. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm telling you, Tommy, I think Sleepy Joe's there's going to be some emergency. Oh my God. Oh my God. My grilled cheese sandwich is overcooking. My oatmeal, my soup or whatever. Or I can't get out of my basement. The door is locked because somebody slid the lock over, which is the smartest thing that they could do. If they had any sense at all, they go, "Hey Joe, I think there's some of your constituents down there in the basement," and he'd go down there, or they could tell him there's some oatmeal down there, and he goes in, close the door, and just slide the bolt and just leave it there for another 3 or 4 weeks. It isn't going to matter. You've seen it. You've seen the Trump trains. You've seen the people. You've seen the rallies. You saw the video that we shot the other day of the Trump train. That was amazing. I had to get ahead of them because there was no way for me to get a really good shot from where we live, because I come down the mountain and then dump out onto the road, the highway, and as far as I could see through Weir's Valley and under the parkway and keep going, there were cars. And then I looked to the left, and oh, Lord, look at all those cars going all the way down the mountain. And as I got into the crowd, and I managed to make my way through, that line went all the way down into Pigeon Forge and made a right and was heading up to Gatlinburg. Didn't see car 1 with a Biden sticker anywhere. So that's got to tell you something. I mean, it's you don't have to be an Einstein to figure out what's going on. You've been being lied to by all the lame stream media. Laughing face with tears. So you're doing a live stream. Tommy, tell me where you're going to do this live stream. I'll tap into it. I want to hear what you guys are doing. What type of music are you going to play on this live stream? Is it going to be big band? Is it going to be, I don't know. I don't know what your forte is, although being a musician, you probably can play all of it. But what will you be playing tonight? I'm interested. Should be interesting, I think. Yeah, the lady with the trunk full, she was different, wasn't Judy? Judy Stump is her name. Stump rhymes with Trump. And she approached me. I mean, I talked to her earlier than what you saw on camera, And she goes, I want you to come out and look in my trunk. Just like, excuse me, so, pardon? And then we got to talking. I said, hold it right there. And that's when I got the camera fired up and then went into it and talking. I said, why do you do this? And she said, because I love Trump. And she's really a diehard Trump fan. I've run into so many of those. There's that other video, which really, and if you get a chance, it was the Rod Run Saturday. And there's a guy that I approach on the back of a truck. And it was funny because I was watching him from a distance. Marie and I were off maybe 100 yards, and I was eyeballing the situation. And a lot of people were, high-fiving him and giving him the positive, but there were a lot of people walking and going, oh, he's the crazy man. Well, I said, that's my opportunity. Bingo, that's exactly my opportunity. And I went up and talked to him, and he was so profound in his statement, which lasted all of maybe 15 seconds. Just give me secure borders, give me a fair wage, a good job, and I'll work my way up. Bam. On and gone. You don't get that from me. You don't get the on and gone from me. But he was great. If you get a chance, look at it. And I was moved by that because he was sincere. He was truly sincere. He has no problem with working his way up, like most of us. Right? I mean, Tommy, we're both not spring chickens. You're still working, and I think you love what you're doing. You're a musician. You have to love what you're doing, because musicians, you know how it is. It's a struggling life, but there's something to it. There's something to be said about it, and it was a good experience, and I've been sobering experience to see the people coming out of the woodwork, and they're starting, because remember, just a year ago you didn't dare say you were a Trump fan. You know what I mean? Because you knew you were going to get shot down from somebody. Somebody was going to go, oh no, we got to do this. We need free for everybody. And these idiots, these boneheads, these latte la la idiots, liberals. They think everything needs to be handed to them because none of them work. None of them know what real work is, because their mommy and daddy usually have a lot of money, and they live off mommy and daddy's inheritance, or they have a trust fund, and they don't work for them. They drive around in BMWs, and that's their lifestyle. And as long as the money holds out, they don't have to do anything. Well, sorry, Sparky. Sorry, Cupcake. I didn't come from that kind of family. So I had to work my butt off, just like all of you have to work to get that check in the door. You don't just go, hey, Dad, I need your MasterCard. Mine's maxed. Right? You know what I mean? God. Yeah, check out the Trump store if you get a chance. Check out the Trump train. That's always a good one. I had fun doing that. It was the horns blowing and the cars and the people waving. It's just amazing to see the togetherness of what real Americans are all about. The people on the other side, you're not real Americans. And he said this last night, and I've been saying this for so long, Mr. President, you need to say this. And he said it. He says, and he was talking about Omar and the AOC crowd. And he says, if you don't like it here, get out. Bam! Get them women some Neosporin. He just burned them. They got third-degree burns. You don't like it? Get out. You want Marxism? You want socialism? Head on out. You want to see what socialism is all about? Go ahead. Go to some of these places. Go to Nicaragua. Go to Cuba. And then open your mouth and see what happens. Go to the Philippines, where my wife is from. You say anything about Duterte, and you're gonna come up missing, or you're gonna find yourself in a 55-gallon drum at the bottom of the Sulu Sea. That's what's gonna happen. Go ahead, take your latte la la butt over there and put up your signs and tell them you're unhappy. You'll disappear. You'll go to the gulag, and then you'll know what being a girlfriend is all about. I'm doing the turkey neck. I can't do the turkey neck because my neck was broke. So I can't do that. But you know what I mean. Tommy, this particular stream will be on Facebook at, pay attention, you get to hear Tommy. Stream will be on Facebook at 7 p.m., mostly traditional country music, just a little informal picking and singing with a couple of other Nashville's finest. Tommy White is going to be on, and that'll be tonight at 7 p.m. Well, if you're on 7 p.m., there's no reason you're going to miss that debate. Well, you going to play after 2 hours? Hello? 7, 8, no, yeah, 2 hours. Cut it short. It's a wrap. Break. Enough. And then watch the debate. It's going to be a hoot. I'm going to load up. I'm going to have 2 cups. One in the imaginary cup, and then this cup. And then I'll watch the debate. And then you'll be able to hear a pin drop on the left side. They won't know what to do. They're already conceding. I don't know if you caught Morning Joe. What an idiot. Morning Joe and his wacko wife there on Morning Joe in the morning. He's even conceding that people are coming out of the woodwork and that Biden isn't coming out of the basement. This guy is whacked out. I mean, where did they find him? That's the best they could do? That's the best they could do? Hell no. If you got a D on your card, scratch it out and put an R or put independent at least. If you don't want to go over to the right, at least get out of that one. Wow. What time is the debate? At 9 o'clock. And you'll find it on Fox. You'll find it pretty much worldwide. It'll be on YouTube Live. So you can take your phone with you and you can catch it. It's always on live. And if you don't have it, get the app, the Fox app, and it'll actually alert you before they go on, so that it kind of reminds you. How did you like? Wait a minute, more green smoothies. Oh God, Brad, did you see the stuff that Marie wanted me to drink? I don't know if you caught that Sunday. Yeah, you were there Sunday night. Oh man, that was just god awful stuff. It was just nasty, and she just shoved it in my face. Here, drink this. And I'm looking at it. It was, I go, honey, it looks like toilet water, and it did. It really, no, the Taco Diablo. It's like after you had 30 tacos from the Taco Diablo out back there. And I'm going, no, I don't know. And it had the funky smell of ginger, which I'm not a big fan of ginger, and then all these other vegetables and herbs and spices and God knows what. And I took just one sip of that. One sip, and I started burping up. I just started my stomach. I go, I hope this doesn't work on the other end like it's working this end, because this ain't going to be pretty. Not at all. Not at all. Unbelievable. But my breath was minty fresh. Mm-hmm. I remember I went to bed, I burped, and there comes that ginger and that menthy mothball smell. Not good. Not good. Yeah, you got to watch it, Tommy. You got to watch. This is history being made. And as Brad says, I actually enjoy the spinach one. Spinach one and the kale is okay. Kale's a little bitter, but bitter is good for you. The bitter is always good for your lungs and your liver and stuff. Anything dark green is good for your liver and your lungs. Well, Tommy, wait a minute. I drink kale, apple smoothies. But you haven't had Marie's pond scum special. Frothy pond scum. It really did look, you saw it was on camera. It looked like she went in with the cup right at the pond and just scooped that stuff right off the duckweed, just scooped that stuff right off there and just handed it to me, and I was little apprehensive because she already spoofed me with the toilet water one. I still have. Yes, she spoofed me with the toilet water one, and then I was like, what is she trying to put on me now? But I always keep this handy. Yes, the urinal cake, because you never know. And yes, it has that minty, fresh smell. I may want to add it to make. There you go. It's the new Harvest Coffee Mint. Mint Harvest coffee. I'm sure it'll be a hit. I'm sure it will be. Every and if you tell the liberals that it makes people more liberal, they'll all be having this. They'll have this hanging off their cup. Walking around. Ew, ew, look at me. I'm a liberal. Ew, I drive a Beamer. Daddy bought it for me. Muffy and Missy. Yes, we have Starbucks. I don't know why I left this up. I thought when I came up here, I go, it smells minty up here. What's going on? Well, that's why. That's why. Kale is good for you, Tommy. Kale and apple is excellent. She's got all these I bought all these fruits and vegetables for the other day. The one that killed me, though, Tommy, was you're drinking green kale, good for you. Apple, good for you. Would you put a bell pepper in it? Boy, talk about throwing a curve. Everything is good so far. The green kale, the apple. You could put in celery. You could put in some berries. But a pepper? Ugh. All I could taste the pepper. I said, how much did you use in that? In that one glass was a whole bell pepper. I don't need a whole bell pepper when I'm having steak and peppers and mushrooms. Half a pepper. Ugh. That was nasty. Yeah, I burped that one up too. But she drank most of it. As you know, here, you want this? And I don't have to drink that now. But she always has these ways of getting me to drink these healthy things or eat these healthy things. And I eat healthy as it is. Chicken. What else? Not a lot of fish, but chicken, some pasta to get some starch in your system. Probably shouldn't have a lot of pasta, but I do like a pasta. I'm Italian. Eat tons of peppers, but of course sautéed. Yes, I'll have lots of peppers that are sautéed. Those are good. With onions and maybe some mushrooms, excellent. Actually, I've many times made a sandwich out of that. Just, I can't eat the green ones because they really give me agita. They really burp me up a lot. The red, yellow, or orange are a little mellow. They're more mellow for me. And so, yeah, I cut them up, dice them up, or whatever. You put them straight or in cubes with onion and a little garlic. And, throw it on some bread, make some toast, put a little garlic on that. It's a great sandwich. It's not good to eat if you're going to talk with somebody after that. Go, hi, how are you? You could see the hair singeing on their face. It's too many onions, huh? Pepper, smoke smoldering out of their head. Yeah. Yeah, you can burn the hair off a cat at 1,000 yards if you eat too many onions and peppers. Peppers are good for you. Any vegetable is good for you. Moderation in moderation. I've always followed that rule. Moderation in moderation. Not too much red meat. Not too much ice cream. Not too much cookies. Not too much. On a little bit of this and a little bit of that won't hurt you. It's when you gorge yourself on one particular food, that's when you get unhealthy really quick because your body can't process this stuff. It's got to have a balance. You got to have a fine balance. That's what we're all made up about. Tommy White, best chat ever. Thank you, Tom. Well, unprepared, and I just was doing my morning sunrise. It's 9 p.m. now, and I haven't shut my mouth for a long time. I do every morning. I will be doing the VacationStation TV SUNRISE, and it's fun because I want to give you the weather. I want to give you the local happenings. I think it's important that people that come into town who may not know where to go and what to do, it's an opportunity for them, one, to get the weather up to date. Sure, you can do it on your phone and all that, but I do it with a little twist. And then, of course, they can maybe reschedule their events because like today, it's raining right now. You might be able to hear that hitting the metal roof. And there's no reason to get all panicky or all depressed that we were going to go out and do something. You can still do stuff. There's a lot of inside stuff, so do it. this would be a great time to go to the museums, a great time to go to the shows, great time to go to the interactive things like Titanic and Through the Lens and stuff like that, or go into Gatlinburg and walk around, because everything is covered in Gatlinburg. Just bring an umbrella with you, or go to Townsend and go to Sevierville. There's so much to do. Go to Kodak. There's some stuff to do. Another good place to go, and the video I did, nobody ever brings that one up. It's a while ago. The Knife Works. It's in Kodak, but still Sevierville. That's a great place. If you like outdoor stuff and then other stuff, that place is huge. It's 3 stories. Have you been there yet, any of you guys? Have you been to the Smoky Mountain Knife Works in Kodak? Check out the video. I did a pretty complete, comprehensive video on that place. It is huge, and it's not just knives and guns. I mean, that's a big section. They have so much more. Ladies will love it, or if you're into culinary arts and stuff, and I like all that. The bottom floor, the ground floor, half of it is, and that's huge. I'm talking maybe 5,000 square feet of just that is all about cooking. Everything that has to do with cooking. I've got some great knives from there. Really nice knives at a good price, too. Good carving knives and meat knives and stuff like that. You visit Knife Works every time. Good for you. Have you been, Brad, to the, what do they call that store? The, jeez, and I did such a, my brain, where all the collectible stuff is. There's a name for it. I can't remember. Relic Room. There it is. The Relic Room. Wow. I fell in love with that place. It's got stuff that goes back to the Revolutionary War and before. Collectibles, memorabilia, artifacts from every genre of time that was there, all the way up through Civil War, World War I, World War II, the Korean War, all the wars, the Vietnam War, all this stuff, collectible stuff, coins, money, pottery, artifacts, bones, dinosaur bones, just tons of stuff. And really, gemstones, lots of gemstones. I'm a big collector of gemstones. Someday I'll show you around. You can't see them up here. Not here, over there. I got them all over the place. The whole cabin is full. And my place down in Florida, I had a 5,000 square foot house. It was a cedar home and it's a lot like this on the inside. From ceiling to floor, every room was completely filled with artifacts of every year, and a lot like the Relic Room. That's why I fell in love with it. And I got rid of a lot of the stuff because when I moved, I knew I couldn't take it with me because there's no way there would be no place to put it all. And I believe in sharing because I'm not going to take it with me. You're not going to take it with you. So there were select people that I care about very much, and I said, take what you want. Just take what you want. My God, like ants at a picnic. They took what they wanted. Artifacts, yeah. Yeah, some of it's very pricey, but most of the stuff that I had, I found. The Native American stuff, I used to hunt. They call it pot hunting. In the early 70s, before the federal laws came into play. And I used to I was always up here in Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, all land between the lakes, the TVA Authority. Because when the TVA came in, the Tennessee Valley Authority, and they, they built the dams, DeMummers Bay and DeMummers Dam and Cumberland County and all that. They just burrowed through with machinery and just unearthed unbelievable amounts of artifacts, and it was just everywhere. I came home one day with 14 axe heads. 14 axe heads. Ancient, beautifully carved axe heads, beautifully ornate axe heads. Thousands of arrowheads and points and atlatl points and pots and all sorts of stuff. I as much as I could pick up and put in a knapsack every day was there. It was amazing. Then the laws came in, and you're not allowed. You can't pick up anything. In any state property or federal property, you pick up an arrowhead, that's a felony. So I don't touch anything. No, I don't need this stuff anymore. It's not my thing anymore. Did you follow the Fen treasure? No, no. Heard about it, but didn't follow it. Have they ever found the money? And I don't know enough, but I know that there's a treasure somewhere. Let's go out and look for it. Coffee's cold again. Um, the Relic Room is a great place to go. They got good clothes there. This is at the Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Really good quality clothes, good boots, good shoes, shirts for men, women, and children. I couldn't believe that they had even kitty boots, little little kitty cowboy boots and stuff, and little kitty mountain hiking boots. And I said, look how cute those little things are. And then they got all the styles and all the types that you'd want for men, women, and children. It was very just filled, comprehensive. And then, of course, they got all the taxidermy in there. I love that big grizzly bear that they've got. As you go down towards the Relic Room, there's that big giant, it's got to be 8 feet tall. My goodness, it's enormous. Wouldn't want to run into that in the woods at all. It was found, it was found. Where was it found finally? Man, people have been looking for the Fen treasure for years. What was it, $1 million in gold, something like that? I don't know the denomination, but it was a lot of money. Unknown location where found Fen passed away 2 weeks ago. Oh, he passed away. Actually, I thought he had passed away earlier, but no. Did he give away the location, or did someone find it? Because I know he left clues and all that stuff. But that's treasure hunting. That's fun. Always look down. I learned that as a kid. Always look when you're walking. Look down. Look around. You always find something. Because where we lived on Long Island, where our house was, and my dad had bought it. I want to say 1947, 1948, and right next to a farm. Literally, we were butt up against a farm. Not a very big one. I'd say maybe 50 acres. There must have been more farm acreage before that, but the guy had sold it off. So it was about 50 acres left, and he would till it. And I'd find stuff all the time. I'd find little pot. I still use the one pot that I have. It's about that round, maybe about that deep, and I put my keys in it. And I've that's been with me all my life. That's always where I put my keys. And when I found it, it still had on the inside the red dye that they would put on their faces for ceremonial reasons or whatever, but it still had the dye in it. I used to find arrowheads all the time. Just right after a heavy rain, that's like after this rain we're having right now, is a great time to go out looking for stuff. Finder didn't disclose where he found it. Why? Is there more? This is Brad saying the finder of the treasure didn't disclose where he found it. He met with Fen after finding it. Finder found it based on the Fen's poems in the book. Yeah, he left clues all over the place, and that's obviously he was determined to find that treasure. Brad, how much was it? Was it in gold coins or bullion or silver or Confederate money? $1 million in Confederate bills. Not worth very much. Just one box that Fen hid. And was it cash, coins, rubies, green stamps? How many of you remember green stamps? My mother used to collect them. All over the house, we had those stupid books with those green stamps. You'd get them at the grocery store. Remember that? Tommy, remember that? Green stamps? You go to the grocery store, you spent X amount of dollars, and you get this little booklet of stamps that you put in another booklet. Never understood that. It was kind of primitive back then, but that's... Jewels and coins. Oh, man. And what was the alleged amount of the treasure? In the millions? Or just $1 million? Oh, they're valued around $1 million. I'm sorry, I should have read up one. That was dumb of me. Aztec Bracelet. Oh, that's super rare for sure. Yeah, that'll be auctioned off. That'll bring some serious money. Anything Aztec or Mayan, yeah, yeah. I don't have any of that stuff. Um, I can't think in my collection. Nothing. No, I like Mesoamerica, but I've never gone there to look. You know what I mean? Because it's like too far away from where I am. But I admire them. I admire their tenacity. That's for sure. I've got. I'll show it to you. So I'm looking at it right now. I've got a Navajo blanket um, that I got. Excuse me. Sorry, I coughed like that. Sinuses. I went to an auction, and this was in Dade City, Florida. And I want to say it was 1991, 92. And it was a little metal building that they held an auction Friday and Saturday night, and they would auction off, Tupperware and odds and ends, games, things, general, once in a while flatware, and it was right across from one of my radio stations, and I was bored because I knew we were going to start a game. It was a Friday night because we were going to start doing a football game. I said I'm going to go across, excuse me, across the street. Let me take a sip of coffee real quick. Clear my throat. And I went across the street. The auction was on. You hear the guy going on and on. And I'm looking around, and he holds up this blanket. And I'm looking at it. And from a distance, I couldn't tell much about it, but I knew it was Native American. And a lot of the stuff up there or that you find is usually Mexican made or reproductions, and you can find them at the flea markets all the time. Those, I had one here. I don't have it next to me. You know what I mean? They just look cheap, but they look Native American. But something just caught my eye on it, and I had already missed the preview because you can preview the stuff earlier. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching, and I'm looking at it, and I'm getting more intrigued because I recognized the um, what do you call them? The decorations or there's sigils of what that was, and I go, that's Navajo. I recognized some of the actual sigils on there, and I said, this is, so I creeped up stealthily closer because there's all these people around there bidding on Tupperware and ice trays and stuff like that. Nobody was bidding on this thing because in a small corner there's a little tiny hole that a moth or a mouse must have ate. There's just a little hole like that. And the guy didn't hold it up. It was folded up, but I could see that little imperfection, and so could everyone else. So people go, I don't want a blanket with a hole in it. I don't want it. So he goes, open up the bid. I think he started $50, nothing. It kept going down, kept going down, kept going down. Went down to $11. $11. And I'm looking around. And as I got closer, I realized this is a hand-stitched Navajo blanket from the 1840s. I knew it. I recognized it. And I bought it for $11. I've already been offered $6,000 for the blanket. And it's like, I'm not interested in selling. It's been with me forever. It's 9 feet by about 7 or 8 feet wide. It's a huge, extremely heavy blanket, and you could see the actual hand stitching, and you can see the knots that they tied, and really intricate. May I take a picture of it? I found it on eBay, similar ones, Navajo ones, and they go from $6,000 to $30,000, and it's like, that's one of those things I told Marie. I said, when I'm gone, sell that and go on a trip somewhere. I said, all you got to do is throw it on eBay and you'll get offers on it, because I've already had offers and I just keep turning them down. But these are the little, and the reason I share that with you is because you can still find treasures if you look for them. So you think that, based on, I'm sorry, Brad, I got off on one of my tangents. It was just a box that Fenn had, and I think it was valued around $1 million. Jewels and coins, Aztec bracelet. Hopefully the Beale Treasure is next to be found, but it's a bit murky. I'm not familiar with the Beale Treasure, so tell me about it. Where is it, and how do I get it? I need to know. I'm in a need to know state. Beale. Where, yeah, what state is it in, and what is supposed to be in the murky depths of the abyss? I love my blanket. Every once in a while, I'll find Marie wrapped up in it, and I go, "What are you doing?" She says, "It's so warm under here. It's really heavy, heavier than anything you've ever had on you. It's almost like a horse blanket, heavy." And I'd sent pictures to how I know it is what it is I sent pictures to a guy who specializes this stuff in New York, and he told me to take distant pictures, up close pictures, and then really up close macro, macro micro type pictures of like 2 square inches. And he got back to me and he goes, "That's authentic." He says made 1840, and it was made by, there's certain things on it, certain symbols, and he goes, "It was made in this part of the Navajo Nation, and would you be interested in selling?" He said, "No, thank you very much. Just tell me how much I owe you for the consultation," and that was the deal. And that's never heard from him again. Okay, it's about already, Brad. It's about, now this is the Beale Treasure, and it's valued, and he thinks, or it's estimated somewhere around $30 million. And it's in Bedford County, Virginia, hidden, but it could be all a hoax. Who knows? Who allegedly hid it, and why were they hiding it? Because you don't just hide $30 million or somewhere in that, unless you're eccentric. Because some people who have that kind of money are usually whacked out because the money drives them crazy. And that'd be fun to find. There's nothing like finding something. That's why I always look down on the ground when I'm walking around. Often I'll find, walking, especially the river streams and stuff, which we do, I'll find an arrowhead every once in a while, or a drill, stone drills that they would use to cut into wood to do work and stuff, for putting, what do you call those, fishing, what do you call those things? The anchors for the fishing lines and stuff. So they drill through wood, and then they tie them off. You find pipes too. You find them pretty often. The clay pipes, the white ones, and then the brown ones. They're pretty popular because as the settlers would be traversing all these pathways and stuff, the pipes would break, and they just throw them on the ground. And over time, they would pretty much throw them almost in the same places because people are creatures of habit. So their empty bottles would always go in a certain pile, and then the other stuff, their debris, debitage, and you'd always look for bottles, pipes, and things like that. Usually they're in riverbeds or turning of rivers. If you're going to go looking, you look for a bend in the river, and most of that stuff washes to the bend, and the water goes around. It basically sifts it for you, and the treasure is somewhere in that debitage. I think the story goes, this is according to Brad, so I know nothing about this, but I'm going to look it up later on. I think the story goes, traveling salesman had hidden it away, but later became sick and wrote the ciphers on his deathbed. How about that? That could be very true. That'd be cool. $30 million? Wow. Wouldn't that be a red letter day there? Lottery! Hello? Honey, pack your bags. I'm buying a whole new class of friends now. Treasure is fun. The illusion, the allure, the mystery of finding something that hasn't been touched. That's the fun of finding an arrowhead or an atlatl point. You know that someone, if it's an atlatl point, and there's a real distinction between atlatl points and arrowheads. They're two completely different designs altogether. And just look in a book and they'll show you. But you find an atlatl head, they're usually 5,000 years or older. Imagine that. You're the first person who touched that point in 5,000 years. And that's a moment to pause when you find something like that. When I worked at Silver Springs, I'd find that stuff all the time because the animals That way, you got to remember, Silver Springs is by a head spring of fresh water that bubbles up out of the ground. And it was about half the size of a football field, the actual head spring, and then it went into the Ocklawaha River. And the head spring would bubble up, and Native Americans, and to some count that they can say over 100,000 different types of little tribes lived in that area because there were springs all around Silver Springs. And the mouflon sheep, which we had, and the red deer, which red deer is as big as a moose, and we had moose. They would dig up the earth as they were running and working and snuffling around in the ground, and boom, they'd always pop up at atlatl points. Wow, there's another one. I've got them hanging on the wall now. My nicest of the nicest, I have them hanging on the wall, and I would always claim it mine because there'd be other workers around, and it's mine. And I'd see it, and it was right after like a mouflon sheep had just kicked it up, and it was just taken out of the dirt after 5,000 plus years. And I'd always stop and think about that. Who were you that touched this? Who were you? What was your name? What did you look like? Did you have family? Were you married? Were you a boy? Were you a man? Were you a grandfather? What were you? Who were you? You know, those are the questions that pop in your mind, and that's just fascinating to me. Brad says, "Oh, you're big unsolved mysteries." Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but that was always fun to watch. Big unsolved mysteries fan. Read about all sorts of stuff like this. Robert Stack, is he still alive? Robert Stack got me hooked on unsolved stuff as a kid. Yeah, I think he's dead now, isn't he? I don't know. If not, he's really, really old. All those shows are... National Geographic has a bunch of that stuff, too. If you ever go on National Geographic, they have all these treasures, hidden treasures of the world, and you can kind of get an idea, you know, how some of these stories have morphed over time. You know, it started out, he dropped a $20 bill, and now it's like $300 billion are hidden in a cave somewhere. It's still the $20 bill. He passed on. Yeah, I thought he did. He was kind of old back then. He was always good. Do you remember him and Elliot Ness, the TV show, the black and white TV show, Elliot Ness? I used to watch that all the time. Black and white. Good stuff. How many of you, I'm going really off the track now, what do you use as your medium of getting TV? Do you use cable, satellite, YouTube, the internet? I'm going somewhere with that question. And we pause, of course, for our sponsor this hour. Suddenly Salad will make you suddenly nauseous. Just chow down a heaping, helping plate full of Suddenly Salad, and it will give you that get up and go feeling. Suddenly Salad, making America suddenly nauseous. It really is. This is nasty. It has actually more chemicals, if you read the back. This is all chemicals. This little paragraph is the ingredients. That's got to tell you something about that. More chemicals than ingredients. You use cable for sports, football, YouTube, and YouTube for everything else. Not old enough to know that you didn't know, you didn't watch Elliot Ness. It was, of course, during the time of the Prohibition, and he's always trying to catch the moonshiners. You can still find it. Now, the reason I say that is, what do you use as a medium for entertainment? Try out, I highly suggest, and I'll give you the name of the place, called SkyStream. SkyStream. They offer the Android boxes. Now, if you haven't tried the latest and the greatest of Android boxes, I've had mine for 5 years. I don't have satellite. I don't have cable. Use an Android box. And you can find them. They're a big company. They have a lot of product. but they specialize in this SkyStream Pro, which I just got that maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Every room has, you can't see this one here. It's I can't move the camera. There's a flat screen TV in every room in this house, so I can go anywhere, and with my remote I can turn on the TV and watch any show. The reason I say that is because you could watch, because I know you like sports, Brad. Any sport you can imagine worldwide. You can watch, there are certain channels that are live feeds, which is the complete uninterrupted feed that they're feeding to the TV stations. Because you know they break away, and we'll be back right after this. The ball is in the air, and we'll be right back after this commercial. That type of crap, but you can watch the full feed. You can watch, and that's on, there's two separate things that you can watch. Any movie that was ever made, and I'm not exaggerating, there's hundreds of these providers, they call them, that have literally the movies from the turn of the century, the earliest black and white little click, 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 click movies that were really primitive, all the way through to the latest movies that are in theaters today. Android box, SkyStream Pro. Do check it out. Every room in this house has one. And you just click it on. I can get the news whenever I want. News from all over the world. I don't have to go to YouTube. Although I get YouTube on this, it's all set up. The reason I say SkyStream, and I don't get any kickback from this, they pre-program it, and then you could reprogram all the providers you want added on to that. And it's very simple to do. And I enjoy it. 5 years, I love it. I love it. Cable, he said cable. So YouTube 75% of the time, honestly, always have something running in the background. You really should get the SkyStream. I used to have all that sort of stuff in the past. Yeah, it was really bad back then. It didn't work really good. Don't mess with it anymore. The newer ones, they're pre-programmed, and they have all the cool channels right there. As soon as you buy it, it's literally plug and play. All you do is identify your modem. You just put in the modem, and it's on just like that. And you click on, and it's got movies and movies, sports, TV shows, live TV, old movies, and then you just kind of click where you want to go around. I bought my sister one, and she can't figure it out, and it's simple. And she can't use a remote. She can't even figure out how a remote works. But check it out, Tommy, if you're out there and stuff, all the others. Anyway, it's 10:30. Brad, I got to go. I got other stuff I've got to get done today before she who must be obeyed comes home. She who must be obeyed. Yes, Her Majesty, the Queen Bee. I worship the water she walks on. Yes, I really do. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate you being there. Everything seems to be working just fine. Did you like the, I don't know if I have them in here. I think I did. I put the, where are they? The pretty sunsets. Let me see. They're so pretty. Yeah. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that gorgeous? That is just so cool. I'm still working on the other thing that you and I had talked about. That other program that has to do with this stuff. All right. And the reason I'm very cryptic on that, because the couple of the copycats, they're already talking about trying to do the same thing, and they knew nothing about it before I ran my mouth. So I'm not going to run my mouth anymore. Marie made that clear. Take care. Thank you much. We'll see you again real soon. I hope everybody enjoyed this lengthy Vacation Station TV Sunrise, which is now Vacation Station TV Midnight.